know she gonna bring. Awesome. So I believe we are live now. Hello, America and around the world. This is Charity Smith, Ms. Mogul. I am the founder of Mogul Life Real Estate, Mogul U Real Estate Academy, Mommies Creating Economies, and the Create Your Own Economy movement. Our show today is sponsored by Mogul Life Real Estate. If you are ready to launch your business into real estate and catapult your career, even in this environment, I encourage you to go to mommiescreatingeconomies.com and sign up for our upcoming classes. Today is such an important conversation today, and I'm thrilled that we're having it. Today, we're going to be talking about the power of networking. And you all know that it's really different now, right? How we engage in business and how we engage our clients and our stakeholders. Well, we have in the studio today, in Mogul Life Studio, all the way from Oklahoma, a professional here who will share with us some of the trends and techniques she's using to not only survive in this economy and in this environment, but she shows leaders how to thrive by connecting, by networking. And I can't think of anybody better to have this conversation with than Miss Tandra Price. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about Tandra before we get into the interview. She certainly comes with a wealth of information, and I want to share that with you here. Tandra has over 15 years in marketing and in leadership. She's also the founder of a wonderful organization called Coffee and Conversations. And I had the pleasure of speaking with her and her group during that leadership forum. In that forum, Tandra trains leaders from various industries about the power of connecting in their industry and how to leverage those techniques about doing 10 things before 10 a.m., how to be really strategic and moving their businesses forward. So enough about my pontificating. I know you're wonderful, but I want the audience to hear how wonderful you are. Welcome to the studio, Tandra.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate being here.
Awesome. So I had the pleasure of meeting you. I think you found me on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And you invited me to come and speak to your ladies. And I have to tell everyone who's listening, you also have a program called Win, and we're going to talk about that as well. But everyone who's looking for a win in life should connect with Tandra. It's a wonderful organization primarily for women, and you're training women how to find those win-wins in everyday life, in business, in leadership, in connecting, in relationships, and how to leverage those wins for more success. Did I do a good plug for you?
Awesome.
Awesome. So I love what you're about, Tandra, and I love your mission to connect leaders with other leaders and show them how to leverage, right, their leadership and their industry for more success. I can't think of anybody who's better to do that. And so today brings us to a really pivotal conversation, right? We're in the middle of a lot. There's a lot going on, right? With COVID, with in Texas and in Louisiana, we're looking at hurricanes that are coming back to back. We're looking at, and by the way, those are going to pass over. We just believe that.
Yes, for sure.
No devastation to my city. That's what I'm believing. But we're looking at a very different business environment right now. So we're not really going face to face to do a lot of our networking. Much of it is done virtually, and you've been very strategic in doing that. How have you seen, though, the transformation in networking from in-person to virtual? Has it changed at all? Are there different techniques that we should be employing now?
You know what? It has changed somewhat. A lot of companies had already been doing or transitioning, I should say, into virtual. But here's the key thing to it is really collaboration. The collaboration is the key because you're actually able to build more defined relationships. I mean, a lot can come out of collaboration. And even with what we're doing right now is that we are actually building communities in different areas, but we're collaborating within those communities to make everyone be able to build their network more stronger and be able to do that personal touch, so we should say. But the transition has really been learning more, we've all had to do it. We've had to, transition our business to doing business learning and also just educational learning virtually. But I have seen such a huge spike right now of people taking advantage of, despite everything that's going on, a lot of people are really taking advantage of that virtual touch within networking. Nothing still stops because you can still shake hands virtually and still close deals virtually.
I love that.
We're doing it differently. I think really what we're doing is that we're getting on more Zooms and virtual calls. We're going to more social media. We're doing more meetups. We're doing more of the hub stuff, really trying to connect. But here's the thing about it is you can really connect more on a one-on-one basis. You can actually farm out the customer or your client that you're looking for. So it makes it a little bit different. So like normally when you would go to a huge networking event, there's so many people there. I always tell people, have a map, do your cheat sheet before you go to a networking event. But right now,
you're going fast, but I want to make sure people are hearing it because you're giving out, and I know it's just the energy, but you're giving out some wonderful nuggets here. So what I'm hearing you say is be strategic in collaboration, meet people, connect, right? Create the rooms, the opportunity, right? We can have global connections right now for the cost of a Zoom membership, right? We're not traveling. We can do this globally now with this platform. So be strategic in collaboration. For all of you who are taking notes now and during the replay, collaborate. And I like to use a word called cross-pollinate. So I love the word cross-pollinate. Yes, I love cross-pollination because nature does it best. We get some of our best cues from nature, right? Absolutely. So we find people who are in various industries that may complement what we do. And then we become strategic in connecting with them. I'm in real estate. You're great in marketing. It made sense for us to connect because both of us have a clientele niche that are mutually beneficial. All right. And then you said something else. You said be intentional with the personal touch. Even though it's virtual, be personable. I don't know of anybody more personable than you in a first meeting. No, really. It's a skill. It is. It's a compliment and it's a skill because we don't have a lot of time in this environment to go through all of that minutia and try to
we really have to be, I call it farm. You really have to farm your customer out, your potential prospect. Because here's the thing about it is, I did some research a while back, and it was saying that, with all the people that are on social media right now, I mean, every 60 seconds, there's 510,000 people that are posting on social media. So we really don't have time to really, I want to say, go through the fluff. I think like if you want to have a different type of conversation, that's after. But right now, I think we have to have some urgency when we're actually talking and seeking out our different prospects. Because every time someone is posting, because social media right now is, the huge key, that every time somebody makes a post, guess what? Somebody's making a post right behind it. So you don't really have a lot of time. You only have maybe about 20 seconds or so to really grab somebody's attention. I mean, on social media, just look at how much is being posted. Every 60 seconds, 510,000 people are posting on social media. So the audience is definitely there. It's like, how are you going to hook the audience now to pay attention to what you have to offer? Everybody should be, showing their products and services online. I mean, that's where you come in with that personal touch, because now you can actually start, conversations that you didn't be able to have when you would be in a huge networking environment. That's why I always say, even right now, networking is so important because you can, what I call is a cheat sheet. When you get ready to go into any type of virtual networking, seeing who the panelist is, seeing if you have anything in common with that person on the panel. I mean, right now you can already do your research of people who you want to talk to on the panel. I mean, it's really like bringing in a conversation after the actual summit or panel is over with, because there you have something in common that you can say, hey, I saw you on such and such, virtual event. Now, what did you think about it? I think a lot of things what happens in networking is people don't have a way in a conversation, but right there is your conversation because you were actually on the same event with that particular person if you actually tuned in. But I want to just say too that we'll jump back to collaboration.
Yes.
Now that's so important is because there's so many advantages when collaborating with people. Just like you said, you know, how we're going to cross-pollinate. We're going to be able to leverage other people's strengths. I think it makes it more, you know, credible and really edifies us because we are now like opening the doors to help someone else within their business, what we should be doing. But it gives us accountability. I mean, it opens up so many opportunities for you. Your business can really accelerate. You can gain more clients. You know, you can get more prospects. It's so much advantage to that. I always say, I call it your sister circle, you know, because I always work with a bunch of women. It's like, you know, really knowing who's in your circle, your you know, your circle of influence, your sister circle. I mean, because that's really what's going to be the key. And that's that personal touch that takes you to the next level. So yeah,
there was a lot that was in what you just shared with us. And so let's go through that because it's meat. It's a lot of good information. So let's start at the top. It starts with collaboration. We cross-pollinate across industries that complement what we do. And then because we only have 20 seconds, I heard you say only 20 seconds to communicate, we have to be spot on. I believe it was George C. Frazier who says that we only have seconds to make a first impression. So we have to be targeted in our communication. That elevator speech has to be down to 8 seconds or less. People have to know what you do. But here's the thing, you have to know what you do in order to communicate that. There's nothing worse than what you're doing. Absolutely. And it's nothing worse than talking to someone and you ask them, hey, what do you do? And they have to give you a paragraph in order to tell you, right? It's about knowing what you do, how you meet the customer's needs, how you meet the client's needs, and what are the expected outcomes. And you should have that and rehearse that, you all, before you network, really become laser focused and laser sharp in that. And then you said something about following up with a conversation. Another key, and anyone who knows George Frazier knows he is the icon of networking. And he said basically the same thing you did. The genius is in the follow-up. The business is in the follow-up. People are getting lots and lots of information. To your point, 510,000 posts a day. So we're being inundated with information, but we're not inundated with personal touch and customer service. And there is where the difference is. It's when we follow up. And you said something about accountability, right? You have to be accountable to your clients and to that lead. Follow up. If you don't hear anything else in this conversation, the genius is in the follow-up. The contract is in the follow-up. Did I hear you right?
Yes, it is in the follow-up. I mean, I feel like that's where it really becomes personal because you know what? You have to follow up even when you've done business with a client. I mean, just follow up and say, hey, especially right now with everything going on, it's really crucial that you follow up because you know when everything goes over, which it will, that you know what your clients or your customers remember, you know what, that she checked up on me, that she followed up on me, you know. So that right there kind of really seals the deal. Absolutely. It really seals the deal for you.
So how would you say that networking strategically and doing it the right way, not just collecting cards and not just collecting email addresses, but creating that community, curating. I like to call it curating a community because it's kind of like bringing pieces of fine art. Yes, it's like bringing pieces of fine art into your environment. You want the best around you, no fluff and none of that other stuff, but you want the best of the best around you. How do we do this the right way to make sure we're connecting with the right people?
Well, you know, I'm still going to pull it all back to, you know, how you collaborate and how you build relationships.
Good point.
I think it all kind of really stems around that because once you collaborate, I mean, now you're building trust, you're building respect. I mean, you're building empowerment through what you're doing. And people are, I mean, they're wanting to attach to you. You give it energy and vibe. I mean, one of the things I always talk about is our sister circle. I mean, it's like you have your doers, your believers, I mean, your connectors, you have your dreamers, I call them your gatekeepers and your visionaries. I mean, you have a lot that builds up that sister circle. Sure. And I'm just going to give you an example that, you know what, when you have something going on, and you know what, you're looking for your tribe, your circle to support you. I mean, that's what that sister circle does. I mean, just right now, there's an incident that happened, and right now, I mean, you should be able to go to your community, and feel your community be able to support you in whatever you got going on. And that's huge. I think right now that once you find out how your circle works, it becomes more beneficial to you. It becomes more powerful to you. And that's huge in the networking industry. I think right now, more than ever, we need to be dominating the industry of what our niche. We need to be dominating that right now. And when I say that, it's because, again, it has made it so easy. What has happened has made it so easy right now for us to elevate in our business because of everything that's going on.
That's a word I hear you use a lot, to elevate, go higher.
Yeah.
And it's something that we talked about in our dialogue, right? Give a higher level of customer service, elevate the customer's experience. And you say something about knowing who's in your network, your sister circle, as you call it, the gatekeepers, the visionaries, all of those people who play those roles. One, that's relationship building. So we have to have a meaningful connection with the people that we're connected with. And then I want to go back, Tandra, to something you said that I don't even know if you really felt the genius of the statement. So I want to bring the genius back to you. This is what you said. You said that it's easy to now not interview, but research the people that we want to connect with. That's how we add the value value to our networking circles, right? So we don't have a lot of time to vet people and spend a lot of time in going through that. Research, right? So if you want a higher quality network, you have to do some vetting and some research. Find out if there's been a Better Business Bureau complaint. Find out if there's been a lien or some kind of litigation against the person that you're considering doing business with. Find out if there's a criminal record. And people would say, oh, that's an infringement upon their personal. No, not really. It's public record. And then secondly, we want to have credible, qualified, vetted people who we know will bring value to our communities. Yes, everybody deserves a second chance, but if you don't have the space to give that chance, you need to make that one connection hit the bullseye, right? So research people, look at their bios, and find out
some of their partners are. I mean, even look into that. Because that goes to what type of business they are, what type of credibility they are. It's by the people who they've actually had partnership with as well.
Right. Find out what the customers are saying about them. Find out what their clients and their stakeholders are saying about them before. And you want to know, is it just veneer? Is it just a pretty layer? Or are these people the real deal? Are they really bringing value? Because when you're in the business of connecting people and building brands, credibility is everything, right?
Everything.
Credibility is everything. And I love that about what you do. You bring the highest caliber of people together, and you do that cross-pollination really well. And that's something I really like about your community. Tell me, how does networking, and I knew we were going to run close to time, but tell me, how does networking have a direct impact on our bottom line? People can say, like, I hear a lot of excuses, and you've already refuted them, by the way. People are saying that because we don't have the face-to-face or the in-person connection with networking, it doesn't work as well. And so people say I'm seeing a decline in the quality of my customer, and just that excuse that people are using. But I've heard you say because of the environment, it's actually easier to connect with people and increase your bottom line. Tell us about the correlation between the two.
So the reason why I say it's easier because because you have one-on-one conversation that you can have. So being on virtual, you're having more one-on-one meetings, which makes it huge to where that gives you a little bit, like we talked about earlier, having a more personal touch. And really, I've kind of really seen the opposite on what everyone is doing. Despite everything that's going on, people's business have really thrived. I mean, they have gotten more contracts. They've gotten more customers. They've gotten more. I mean, Their network have expanded. I mean, we went from, just having local contact to now we're doing international because of this, because we're able to go more virtual. So I've seen it go the opposite way, which people have really, took advantage of what we're doing right now. Like I said, it goes back to because you actually have the customer right there online. I mean, people are wanting to talk to you. If you look on right now, go to your virtual or your social media, I mean, you probably have about a dozen people right now that you could just click on and say hello to. I mean, so it's already there. I think those are the people that are just afraid of getting no's. Like I always tell people, listen, we all been to what they call no university, right? Because we didn't have a whole bunch of no's. And I think that's why people try to make that excuse, but there's really no excuse. I think that right now, you can shake hands and close deals right now virtually, because just like what we're doing, we're having a conversation face to face, but guess what? We're reaching millions of people that are watching your show right now.
That's good stuff.
And that's the thing that it works.
So what I'm hearing you say is that technique and perspective make the difference. You have to know what you're doing, and you do train people. And I want to put this plug in there. You do walk people through, right, how to network and do it the right way. You have a system in doing that. But perspective has so much to do with outcomes, mindset. You'll hear me talk about mindset. The mogul mentality, right?
Yeah.
Mogul mentality.
Yeah.
Think about your business and your brand and the highest level of service that you can provide, and introduce yourself as a service provider. You're there to give an experience, not just a service. You'll hear me say that all the time too. It's about creating an experience, and we can do that now, right? With little to no overhead because of the virtual environment. We can do that now, and we can create experiences for our customers. We're rushing to a close, Tandra, but I want you to do a couple of things. One, first of all, give us some techniques on how to make the best introduction to our networks. How do we do that? How do we do it the right way?
Well, first of all, I would say when you actually meeting a prospect, have an organic conversation. Don't be a salesy person when you're actually meeting them. Even virtually, don't do it. Find some common ground in when you're talking to somebody. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we hate salesy. But have an organic conversation, and then as you're having that conversation, make sure we're listening. Make sure that you're listening to what is being said, because that is going to be able to pick up the clues. You're going to be able to pick up clues within the conversation, and then as you do that, I mean, try to show some credibility of yourself first, not being salesy, but showing some credibility. What you can bring to the table, because really we're looking to solve a problem, right? Every time we're talking, you listen and hearing the key facts is really a problem that you're trying to solve for your customer. But how do you do that? And if you're doing that by listening, have an organic conversation, finding some common ground with them, and then always have a follow-up method behind it.
That's good. That's good.
Follow-up method behind it.
That is so good. So
remember, in the first 48 hours after you've had that conversation, you've already been forgot about. So make sure that you follow up immediately after the conversation.
Good point. Really good point. So I believe it's Eva Medlick. She calls it generous listening, and I call it active listening. And you said it so profoundly when you said you're listening for clues. Those clues are the treasure to the relationship. Yes. People will drop kind of those breadcrumbs about what they're thinking and what they're needing. And if you're a skilled listener, and if you have problem solving really at the core of what you do, not sales, but problem solving, you hear that. And here's what I know, Tandra, because you talked about credibility. In that active listening, many times we may find out if we can help this person or not. Sorry about that. My bracelet got caught. We'll find out if this person is a good fit for us or not. Here's where credibility comes in. If we hear that this is not the right relationship for us, but we have a resource that we can refer them to or someone else in our network, and we refer them to someone we know would be the right fit, they don't forget that. They will then in turn refer. And here is what you've just done. You've just built loyalty in your network with that other person. And then you just built credibility with that lead. So you can look now for a funnel. See that credibility and that. And so now that funnel that comes in, because now you have both of them looking out for your best interest because they know you've already looked out for their best interest. Have an organic conversation. Actively listen to what the person is telling you. Have customer service and problem solving at the core of what you do, and then follow up within 24 hours of that conversation. Right? So if you were to leave, Tandra, in closing, because this has been such a good segment with you, if you were to give a pearl of wisdom. Southern women love pearls. So even on our bracelets, Southern women love pearls. If you were able to leave a pearl of wisdom or a nugget of knowledge to America's leaders about networking and its importance, what would be the nugget you'd leave?
Be yourself. That would be the to be yourself. You know what? Because people can tell when you are, people can tell when you are not you. But more importantly, you can tell, because now you have to put this pretense of a person that, that you're not. And then that's going to make everything kind of go down here for you. Be yourself, have fun, make it organic. I mean, don't try to do something that you wouldn't normally do. I mean, don't be somebody who you're not. Be yourself. I can't say that enough. Just be yourself, because that's who they're buying. They're building a know, like, and trust factor, and that's you. So be yourself. That's the nugget. Be yourself on everything, because what you get today, you're gonna get tomorrow.
So all of this red is what you get today, and you get the same thing tomorrow. But I love that we're being kind of funny about it, but you bring up such an important point that I really want us to focus on. Be authentic, because people are buying you. You are the brand. I don't care what the logo says. It's you. It's your brand. It's your narrative. It's what you believe about business. People are buying that. And when you have an organic, authentic connection, you have what I love to call, Tandra, customer loyalty. I don't call them customers anymore. I call them loyalists, because they stick with you. Loyalists. Because even if the market says I need to now increase my price for the service I provide, because they know that I have such a tested and true service, they'll say she's worth it. Because it's authentic and they know me, right? They know you. They know the brand. That is such a wonderful bit of advice to leave. And here's what I love about you. You brought a gift for our listeners today. And we love gifts, right? Especially now. We love gifts, because gifts make you feel good and gifts move you forward. Tell our listeners about your gift today.
So I'm giving a gift. Please go download it. It is 15 ways to start a conversation. It has some powerful, but simple tips in this giveaway. It gives you, it walks you step by step what to do, how to start a conversation, no matter where you are. I mean, these simple techniques can really work. And they have been proven. I mean, people have really gotten tons and tons of deals just by using these simple techniques. So yes, please go and download it. It's 15 ways to start a conversation. It's bit.ly. It's a bit.ly link /15-starters. Please go download it and take advantage of it. Use some of those simple but profitable techniques.
Love that. And we'll also put that bit.ly link in the downloads, in the comments after our segment. We'll make sure of that. How do people get in contact with you?
They get in contact with me through our Facebook page, which is Conversations Over Coffee. It's Conversation Over Coffee. It's a Facebook page. Please go out and join our group. We are trying to get 1,000+ followers on that group. So if you could please go down and join our group, I would love to do that. You can also reach us on IG, which is Conversation_over_coffee. Please go to either one of those and join our group. We'd love to have you.
Right. And it really is a wonderful network of women who are sharpening each other, sharing techniques and sharing cross-pollination opportunities, etc. I've, again, had the opportunity to speak to that group, and it's really a wonderful coalition of women that are joining you. And then you have a program called Win, right? Where you train women about Win. Come on, I'm getting all your plugs in. Don't forget about Win.
Thank you so much. So yes, we have a program which is called WIN. It's Women in Networking, and we're gaining more wins. And what that group is about building your business more profitable. And I mean that the group is for anyone who's wanting to take a deeper dive into building their business, getting resources, workshops. It's for anybody who's wanting to do that. I mean, we want you to have the experience of being able to connect with the sisterhood that unconditionally want to see you win.
Oh, that's okay. Good.
So that's good. Yeah, go out and join it. It's a small membership fee to join, but it's, you know what? We have been having some exclusive interviews that ladies are walking out of there and applying these techniques and trainings that we're getting, and they are winning. So yes, please go to link / winners.
Love that. And so it's a really good forum for women who may be solopreneurs and looking for that kind of collaboration. This is a great place to start and scale. So Tandra, it has been a pleasure hosting you in the studio today. I certainly appreciate all you shared today with networking. And I want to just kind of recap everything you said. Collaborate, right? Cross-pollinate. Find those people that you have mutual interests with, and then schedule a conversation. Really have an organic conversation about how you can be a problem solver. Listen actively and intently and generously, as we've heard, and then follow up within 24 hours. Make sure that you have that connection with the person, letting them know, I heard this in the conversation. This is how I can meet your need and add value to you. Follow-up is going to be, I believe, the deciding factor in success or failure in this environment, because people are being inundated by so much. If you have not already, make sure that you go to Tandra's Facebook page and connect with her. Her organization is called Conversation Over Coffee. She also has an Instagram account. You can find her there, and then connect with her personally, Tandra Price on Facebook. And then she'll be happy. I know it. She'll be happy to have that conversation with you there as well. Tandra, I appreciate you more than you know. It's been a delight meeting you and sharing with your audience. I'm glad I now had the opportunity to reciprocate. I'm so thankful for what you shared with our audience today, and know that this message goes around the world. This is a global platform, and I believe that regardless of where people are, if they take your tips, if they take your techniques and apply them, they will see an immediate elevation in the service that they're able to provide. So this show, you all, has been brought to you again by Mogul Life Real Estate, Mogul U Real Estate Academy, and TLC. If you're interested in learning about how to grow a business in real estate and then how to diversify your earnings, I'd love to talk with you. Listen, if you have not done so already, text me at 26786. Mogul U, 26786, MOGULU to 26786. Opt into the community. We'd love to have a conversation with you, talk to you about mentoring, about transforming your career, and about how you can build wealth in your portfolio in real estate. And then when you finish here, we'll send you right over to Tandra, and she'll show you how to cross-pollinate and grow your network. Was that good?
That's good. That's real good.
Awesome. Listen, you all have a wonderful day today. As always, be more powerful today than you were yesterday. The world deserves to see the best version of you. Don't disappoint them. Give them the best version of you. So without further ado, thank you again, Tandra, for sharing this time with me. And thank all of you for listening in today. Bye-bye for now.